The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.
Hello Cherries fans and hello Manchester United fans, and welcome to this special show here on Up the Cherries in all departments. Now, this is a special show because we are going to be discussing, of course, Manchester United and the current going-ons at Old Trafford. Of course, we're also going to look at the new stadium plans that Jim Ratcliffe has announced, plus a lot more. What is going wrong there? Now, before we get going, here's a little bit about our sponsors, Dental on the Banks. Find out more about them, visit dentalonthebanks.co.uk, and thank you to our second sponsors, Touchpoint Telecoms. You can find them at touchpointtelecoms.co.uk. Do give Mark a call for all your business needs, from Dorset to Hampshire, from Berkshire to Wiltshire, and everywhere else in the UK. He will be able to help you. So like I say, Manchester United are a football club who are having a bit of a difficult season. Let's just say that. Now, we have a very special guest. He's been on before. He is a musician and he's releasing a new album. So make sure after this video you go out and pre-order it and listen to the singles as well. So it is a pleasure to welcome back on, of course, previously from the Happy Mondays, and now with his new bands, Yogi-G and the Family Tree, it is Gaz Whelan. Welcome back to the show, Gaz. How you doing, mate?
Not as good as you lot. Well, you're 10 for something. We're 13 for 14, aren't you? You're doing pretty good.
Certainly are. Yeah, it's been an unbelievable season, to be perfectly honest, mate. And we're dreaming of possible Champions League, Europa Conference League. Hey, we're not bothered which one we get. You know, we'd love the top prize, but from minus 17 to where we are now, you know, you can't beat it. But I'll tell you what, let's touch upon, of course, you are a massive Manchester United fan. You've loved the club. You know, of course, we welcomed you on a while back. But what do you think has gone wrong because, of course, Eric Ten Hag has been sacked now, and Ruben Amorim has come in, and he hasn't really got the tune out of the side. What do you feel has to change to make Manchester United into that force that they were all those years ago?
Christ, how long have you got, Craig? Come on, I mean, it's well, the owners. I mean, I know the owners, because I know the owners, like people say, the owners don't affect the style of the pitch, but the whole club is toxic. Got friends who work there, hate it. It's a horrible environment. Whereas the other lot across the city, they're not his neighbours. It's a nice environment to work at, as it used to be at Old Trafford at United. Times we're living in weird times. I just don't know what Ten Hag didn't. I mean, I didn't rate him. I wanted him to start with. We're all hypocrites. I wanted him, but I just see, it's very complicated. There's a player power there, and players aren't good enough to have that power. The club's living on in the past. They're like an old rocker, no pun intended. That refused to change the times. The club's a shambles. I mean, this guy's come in, Jim Ratcliffe, who's supposed to be a local man. He was after buying Chelsea and Hull at one point. He's like, I got into politics. He's like the Starmer of football. Some players are on, 400 grand a week, just short of, that aren't playing, that were never good enough. The model of buying players and paying big bucks to get them to come to the club because the club wasn't in Champions League, etc., and long contracts has come back to bite them. It's an absolute shambles from top to bottom on every level. Every level. I was in there doing an interview last week, and it's sad to see. But that's where we're at. Amorim, we're all behind him. We rate him because what we've seen in the past is lots of coaches come and fail. So we can't keep changing coaches. I know if it's not working, he's got a style that's worked. We haven't got the players to play that style. We just haven't. A couple he's brought in have worked well. We need a new goalkeeper. We need someone who can score a goal. We need all across the park, midfield, everywhere. There's about 3 or 4 players. No, not even that. 2 or 3 I would keep. And the rest are just not good enough. Some youngsters that are coming through that are good, but it's the old mentality of the club. They're putting the prices up to £66. And like every club, they're going for this tourism coming, especially United, because of the global appeal. Get the tourists in who spend more money. And locals, I've been, Manny from the Stone Roses contacted me the other week, said, do you want to go to a game? And I went, I don't fancy going anymore. Not because they're rubbish. My first season was 74 when we were in the second division. It's not about that. It's about the way the fans are treated and just the state of the place and that. It mirrors the society at the moment. It really does. But I remember my dad telling me when I was a little kid, he took me when I was a baby. I don't remember, obviously. First full season was in 74 when I was older. 73 maybe, 74. And he said to United will always let you down. They've always treated the fans like shit. They always have done, always will. But certainly the local fans. And I was born in the shadows of Old Trafford. All my family are Reds. All my wife's family are from Burns are Reds. There's not a single blue in any of our entire families. It's a big red family, but everyone's just had enough. And it's really not not winning. We're used to that. All my years of going home and away as a teenager, we never won anything. The odd cup. Always look on the bright side of life was a song we used to sing because we were rubbish. So it's nothing to do with being spoiled the last 20 years, from the 90s into 2007. It's not that. That can't last. It's like anything. It doesn't last. You've got, all clubs, everything in life is cyclical. So it's not that. And, you see fans say, no, you spoil. The older fans are not. It's not about that. It's about the lack of entertainment. United have always been an entertaining club, and just the way that it's been treated, it's and the locals are just I've not got a problem with people supporting you. I've lived in Australia, I've lived in America, Canada, West Africa, partly. I don't, if you support a team, you don't support a team just because you're local. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be allowed to. And the myth that everyone in Manchester is a Man City fan is the biggest myth in football. It's utter nonsense. It's always been 60-70% United because United were the working class club and just a glamour club. City were never. But they, even going back to the 80s, you go to Piccadilly train station, the main train station in Manchester, on a Saturday when Man City were home, and they were just car parks full of coaches from Cornwall, from all over the place to support City. Not the scale of United, of course, but, all clubs. And they're seeing that now. I've got a friend who's a City fan. Yeah, not from Manchester, ironically, but he's complaining that it's just all tourists there. It's from Wigan, which is not far off, Ashcroft. Yeah. But and it's just all tourists, and there's no, locals going in. And I said, well, it's been a switch from what United and City were. Now United fans are bitching about City and City, But that's the way it goes. In Manchester football, usually 30 years it changes. But it's just the state everything's run. No one's happy. It's just horrendous, just cheesy, tacky, and I'm only just getting started, Craig. That's just the start of it. It's honestly, it's not good. When you go to the ground outside, there's no, you go to the football and you go for a drink or you go to the game. I don't drink at games, never have, because of I just don't. And so you have a good time and a good laugh, and no matter what, the result, you're upset afterwards but it's not good before the game. It's a bad atmosphere. You can see everyone's just walking around like a Lowry painting. It's just not. It's just a real horrible vibe around the club. And it's funny because I live out in the suburbs now in Cheshire, and Bruno Fernandes lives nearby somewhere. I keep seeing his car, and I keep thinking, I'm going to go in he goes in the local wine shop, the local, it's not Odd Bins now, what do they call it? Majestic. It's a Majestic store just behind here, and he pulls up in his Bentley and gets a lot of wine. And I thought, I'm not drinking at the moment. I thought, if I had a pint of Guinness, I might pull. Though he's a great player. He's one of the few.
Yeah.
He doesn't play to the system, but I think that's partly for his frustration. Anyway, there's my wine. Now I've got it over. Let's talk about Bournemouth.
Well, there we are, Ruben Amorim. If you want to know what Bruno's doing, he's in the Majestic Wine. Probably just got him a fine there, Gaz.
Well, you know what though? It's great for Bruno. I don't, he's Portuguese, he drinks wine, but he's rarely injured. I don't think he only missed one game through injury. He's never injured. He gives 100%. So you can't, whether he can be frustrated sometimes because he thinks he's Johan Cruyff and he's not. But he's by far our best player, and he is very good. He'd do better in a better team. So I can't get, and apparently he's first in, last out of training. He's like Xerxes at the moment apparently. So he puts it in. I've got no complaints with Bruno Fernandes, but some of the others, shocking.
No, I can understand. Well, I also wanted to touch upon, of course, you mentioned there with regards to Jim Ratcliffe, and of course, he stopped the meals for staff, which is a shocking decision, really. But also, after that, he's announced that Manchester United are going to be leaving or aiming to leave Old Trafford. Now, I don't like this idea. I hate this idea because, of course, Old Trafford is an iconic stadium. You look at the stadiums that are iconic. I know you're probably going to hate me for saying this, but Anfield, Goodison Park, all these stadiums are iconic. Main Road was iconic, to be fair, but it's all disappearing.
You know what? my favourite. I remember the first time I went to Main Road. I was really shocked how it must have been in the late 70s how rubbish it was, how small, like a rugby ground. But it was. But yeah, Anfield and Goodison was my favourite away ground, and Villa Park, great stadiums, and Fulham, Craven Cottage, all great ground, and they were built for football. So all these big, how the new Old Trafford's going to be. There's no atmosphere there, but it's not about atmosphere; it's about revenue, isn't it? But yeah, and Anfield, great ground. I've not got a problem with Liverpool, never have had. Just because of Manchester, I hate people telling me you have to hate Scousers. I don't subscribe to all that nonsense. I actually got a lot of respect for Liverpool. That are our enemy, but our respected enemy. I've got no problem with Liverpool whatsoever. Never have had. It's only one team I have got a problem with. It's Samlot across the road. But I agree, and it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be on the same site. If you don't know you won't do. But where it's built on Old Trafford it's right next to the Manchester Ship Canal. So it's where the docks were. The docks are actually in Salford, but Salford is pretty much a city within itself. But the whole of West Manchester, where I'm from, so they're going to build a bit. So it's right next to the water. So they're going to build right over onto the Salford side. So part of it, I don't know if they're going to build a stadium over, but the parking and stuff might be on the Salford side, or these shops and apartments going to build. I've actually got a flat just about quarter of a mile from Old Trafford, not even far. I don't know whether they're going to build all flats there. Call them the Quays now. It's the docks,
Yeah.
The Salford Quays, or Manchester Quays, whatever you call it. It's Salford Quays. So it's on the same site, and it's an old industrial area, Trafford Park it was called. So there's scope to, and it's on good real estate. So that's what they're going to do it. That's probably why the owners have kept hold of it. That's probably why Radcliffe's taken up, because it's got good real estate and they'll make good money out of it. But it'll lose its soul. I agree with you. I don't like these new grounds. I just don't. But maybe I'm an old man. But I like the old rectangular ones where you can hear the crowd, see them. And they were built for football terraces. That's what they were built for the atmosphere. And Goodison, it's a shame Goodison, because I loved going to Goodison. Loved it.
And I've seen some bits in that new Everton stadium, and it, whilst it's impressive to look at, it's impressive in the inside. The architects have done a fantastic job. It isn't Goodison Park. It's not football. It's not what Old Trafford is. You know, and Manchester United move into this new stadium. I think that Jim Ratcliffe is just going to rip the heart out of it.
That you already have done. I'm not even sure it's going to happen. Where are they going to get the money to build a new stadium and a new team? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know whether it's all just lip service to get through this season, because it's been an embarrassment. I just don't know. I just don't know whether they're going to do it in 5 years, not 10 years. It just seems to be lip service. It just seems. I mean, I'm a cynic by nature anyway, but I just don't. You can't build that and build a team as well. You just can't. They've said they haven't got the money. I don't know why Radcliffe bought in if he hasn't got the money. It doesn't make sense. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We just need some better football and a team playing. How Ruben Amorim wants them to play. I've got, if he doesn't work, no one's going to work, because he's got the work ethic of Ferguson, and Ferguson wasn't a great tactician, but he's a good man manager. I know the game's changed now, but he's everything. He's included all the staff's inclusive. Everyone sits together. Whether you and he knows everyone like Ferguson did. I knew people that were there. Ferguson knew literally and I know it's an old cliche, but he'd come in the cleaner, he'd ask how our family's doing, he'd know where our grandchildren were, everyone. They had family day once a month under Ferguson, where everyone got together. David Gill, who was the CEO, all of them, all the kids mix and all the families. So Amorim wants to rebuild that. So he's doing everything that should be done, and we want. I mean, he didn't want, to be fair with him, he didn't want to come in halfway through the season. He said, I don't want to do it halfway through. I want to come in with a pre-season and some players that we can play that position. But they forced his hand. He said that. And he said it's not going to go well. He actually said that before he started. And he's right. He's spot on. I mean, he's made some bizarre decisions, but all coaches do. I think it's weird. English football's so different than everything else as well.
Yeah. Yeah, completely agree. And we have got the best league structure in the world as well, with promotion and relegation and the clubs. You could have a club like AFC Bournemouth that, were on -17 back in 2008, shoots right to the very top, but it can go the other way around. We've seen, throughout history, we've seen Wolves, we've seen Portsmouth fall down to that sort of level. So it's an interesting structure, and Manchester United, I think, can definitely get back to the very top, but it's a case of the amount of debt that the club's in as well.
It's crazy.
How has it even got to that?
It should have been illegal. They were literally went into debt overnight. Should have been illegal. We stopped Sky from buying us, Murdoch from buying us. It's just, what I mean. What's great at the moment, we don't want a league where your Liverpool's and Man United's like in Spain and winning the league every year, or your Arsenal. It's great that, and I'm not saying this in a patronised way. I really are. I'm not. How Bournemouth are doing great and Villa are doing great again. It seems, and Brighton are doing well. It's great. That's how it should be. That's how it used to be. You're always going to get the big establishment clubs doing well, but that's fantastic. And the great thing is you can go. I mean, Bournemouth are a better team right now, so it was no surprise when you beat us 3-0 at Old Trafford. No surprise. But so an outsider it might be. It really wasn't. It wasn't a surprise. Beforehand, people were saying 2-0. We're going to get Bournemouth, because people who know football know how good a football side Bournemouth are, and they are. And we knew that we would struggle against them. Old Trafford, we knew we would, and we did from the kickoff. And so, but I think it's great how these teams are playing, and this is what's frustrating. Teams like say, I'm just using Brighton as an example, who haven't got the wage bill or the. I mean, this is a bit of a paradox. The star players, for example, or these big buys, can play them systems really well. It's an absolute shambles. But honest, you come and after the game, I'll have friends saying, Amorim was saying, didn't Brighton play some good football? Didn't Bournemouth play some good football? Didn't Villa play some great football? Why can't we do that? And it is, these teams are not coming and getting lucky, or they're coming and playing us off the park. They really are. And but that, that's also good as a neutral. It's good. It's really good.
I think one of the things with Manchester United, though, as well, and historically, and since Alex Ferguson left the club, is that the club have lost their way by looking at the big names, the big stars, pulling those players in. Whereas Ferguson, you had the class of '92, which, okay, was a little bit different to what Bournemouth have done. We brought in a lot of the players like Milos Kerkez, Zabani, Dean Howson, Semenyo, Cliver, all these players we've bought in, but we're buying them in when they're youngsters and with the expectation of selling them on. If we can do that, surely, and Brighton, that's Brighton's model, that's Brentford's model as well.
Brentford,
Surely
yeah.
Manchester United can do, but would that keep Man United fans happy if, say, for example, they bought in a player that you'd never ever heard of, gave him a chance, and he ended up being a star? Of course, they'd be happy in the end, but initially there would be that what's going on, wouldn't there?
No, it's the opposite now. Honestly, it's the opposite. People don't want them to go for big because they've seen him buying your Casemiros, and it was great playing in Europe with this when the
Yeah.
pace is slower, buying the big names, and it's not worked. So not actually the opposite. So like when Xerxes came in, people don't know him. He played in Italy a lot. You know, these players they give him time. You know, I mean, he got booed off one game, which was absolutely disgusting, appalling. And he's turned into a decent player. He's never a number 9, but he's turned into a good player, and he's worked hard. But no, the opposite. They want youngsters to be brought through and players who will come and play rather than players that will just come for the money. So actually, quite the opposite to what you said. That's what I get from fan forums. Everyone I talk to, everyone to a man. I don't know one person who wants them to go and buy Galacticos, which they can't anyway. But you know they don't because it's not worked.
Well, that was the philosophy, wasn't it? Get these effectively big stars, though, straight after Ferguson left. And it kind of just completely lost its way. But you
Well,
believe now.
that's what the Glazers did in NFL though. That's what they did with our team in the NFL in down in Florida. That's exactly what they did, and it worked a little bit, but they ended up winning Super Bowl, so it worked, but it didn't. It's not worked a long time, So I think they've gone for that model, but it's not worked. Football's very different. It's not worked.
No,
So
definitely.
so everyone's the opposite. Everyone wants you. Everyone just says, just play the youngsters. Buy signings that want to come and play.
Mm-hmm.
They do. I mean, I think there's an image of a Man United fan and the club from people from the outside. They're not from Manchester, which obviously is a lot of them, but it's utter nonsense. It's Manchester is mostly red. It always has been. I would say that, but it's actually true. The university do a study every 4 years on season ticket holders and where they live, and it's always there's a myth that these spoiled brats. I mean, of course, because there's so many of them outside and the phone up radio shows, they do sound like spoiled brats. But they're just like any other football fan. We're all the same. There's no difference in us to any other, a Millwall fan. Well, actually, that's a wrong example.
Oh dear.
We were in town or something, and we, it's a local club. It's on the docks. It's situated on the dock. So I mean, when all the immigrants came into work in Manchester Industrial, in the industries, they saw Old Trafford and they gravitated to that. So that's why City fans always say, "Oh, you're not from Manchester," because all the immigrants liked when they used to come over to work. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but yeah, we just like everyone. We want a good footballer. We don't care whether they're stars or not. We really don't. In fact, like I say, the opposite these days.
Well, of course, hopefully we'll be able to do the red side of Manchester a favour by making Pep Guardiola's season trophyless this weekend. Of course, we've got them in the FA Cup.
What day is that? What day is that? Is that Saturday or Sunday?
That's Sunday. Sunday, it's live on TV as well.
Where's it? At your place or theirs?
It's ours. It's ours.
Oh, watch that. Oh, good. Yeah, I think you will do. I think you will do them as well. I think, that'd be great.
And actually, I think that we might win our first ever major silverware if we get past them as well. So I'm hopeful.
Is the quarterfinals this weekend?
It is, yeah. Go into the semi-finals. a day out at Wembley. That'll be the first time since 1998 when John Bailey scored against Grimsby Town in the Auto Windscreen Shield final.
That'd be fantastic, though, won't it? Oh, yeah, I hope you do beat him. Yeah, I hope you do as well.
Honestly, mate, it would be absolutely amazing. But I'll tell you what, let's have a chat about your music because, of course, you finished your tour with the Happy Mondays now. I just wanted to quickly touch upon the Happy Mondays, of course, fantastic band, and being a fan for years and years and years and years. So the big question, could you ever see the Happy Mondays touring again?
I don't think we'll ever do a tour. Maybe. I mean, we've got a lot of festivals this summer, and we've got Spain and Portugal in September. Then after that, I don't think so. I mean, Paul's dead now. Paul died, and Rowetta's left. But who knows? I don't know. I'm doing my own thing. I'm busy doing that, so I don't know if I've got the energy. I don't know. You know, I've said no loads of times, and we end up doing. You know, you get offered something, and you go, "Oh, go on, then I'll do it." So, I suppose it depends how the summer goes with the festivals. We'll see.
Definitely.
Well, Bournemouth was a good gig. So I like that venue in Bournemouth. You go down there. I don't even know what it's called. On the front.
Oh, yeah, the Bic.
It's right on the front, and you go down this. You get out. It's down. It's underground.
Oh, the underground one. I'm trying to think now.
Right on the front.
Was it the big building? Was it because that's all gone now, the IMAX. I'm trying to think.
No,
Somebody will put it in the comments.
I can't remember what it was called. Oh no. I'm thinking no. I'm getting mixed up with somewhere else. So it's a big old building facing. It's right on the front though.
Yeah,
it's right on the front. They're really nice people there. Actually, there's a great little sandwich shop at the side. That's always. Yeah, no, I'm getting mixed up with somewhere else, and I'm getting completely mixed up with somewhere else. Christ, I don't know what it's called. It's in the. Anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway. But they're always good people there. There's got a few venues on the country that are always really good, and that's one of them. I can't remember, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, yeah.
I was thinking of the IMAX, which closed down years and years and years ago now, and there was a bit of a concert venue underneath there before it turned into Jumping Jacks. People in the comments will remember that. You know,
no, I'm getting mixed up with somewhere. I'm thinking somewhere else, a coastal place. I'm thinking somewhere. It's a big. What's it called? It's on a corner, but it's a big. It's right on the front.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's have a chat about your new band, Yogi-G and the Family Tree. Of course, we touched upon it last time round, but you've been in the studio, Gaz, and you've been recording some new music. Firstly, let's talk about the name of the band. Where does that come from?
Paul Ryder used to call me. So because I got into doing yoga about 3 years ago. Not all that yoga that you see in the thing, nothing like that. More mental yoga. It's complicated, but kind of more traditional stuff. All that kind of Eastern philosophy with Buddhism and Hinduism and Tantra and all that. Not the sting stuff, and well, kind of, but not really. Not that lycra stretching, not that. And I used to read all this kind of philosophy, and I'd say things on the tour bus. Oh, like some quote, and Paul Ryder look at me and go like that, and I go, "Oh no, sorry, Guru Gaz taking it, having a joke." So he said, "Oh," then he said, "Guru Gaz, Yogi-G," and he used to just call me Yogi-G. It's one of his nicknames for me. And Ian Brown used to call me Gary Krishna, which I thought was quite a good play on words. He said Harry Krishna, Gary Krishna. So just because that, Paul Ryder called me, and then so we had when I first started the band. I was going to call it. A friend said I wanted something like Sly and the Family Stone, and they said, Love and the Family Tree. So it was that for a while, and then someone in America got in touch, some preacher in Atlanta, not being very Christian, saying that they had the name anyway. So I just changed it to Yogi-G and the Family Tree. Names are names, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a long name, but yeah. So we just finished the album. It's coming out on a label called Echo Base Records. It's only just finished, but the feedback and reviews have been incredible. I wasn't expecting it, to be honest with you. I thought I'd be able to do like a little quiet release and, get people to come to the gigs and, that's what I'd like to do. But I think it's going to do a lot better than that. Not as in, in a big context, but a lot better than I thought. So a little bit more added pressure, but it's got to work, haven't you? What's
You
up,
know
good
what?
review?
I love the name. I love the name. Yogi-G and the family tree is unique. It's different. And long names, hey, it works. You're on up the cherries in all departments, Gaz. It's
Yeah, but that's going well. So we start. So we'll start this weekend at Shine On in Skegness, and then we're I think it's 9th of May in Bournemouth. But
yes.
that's a one-off. I think we're going to come down the night before because it's just a one-off gig on its own. But I don't think they've done any promo for it. I don't think it's sold. If he's sold any tickets, he's only sold a couple. So get down. Where's it? At Canvas, as you say, it's called. I don't know
It's Canvas. Yeah, Canvas.
a little bar or something.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's one of the venues. Do you know what? I don't ever go out drinking very much anymore, but I do like
No one
going to
does.
gigs. But
Nobody does. I don't. Nobody does any of that. So I remember the promoter saying to me, "It's just hard getting people to the gigs these days because everyone's got everything at home. You get your food delivered, your alcohol, you got your TV, you get everything at home. So and the hassle
yeah,
of going, the cost, the crime, the violence, the cost, the trouble getting home. People just don't go out anymore.
it's a shame though. It is a
It is.
shame,
It
but
is.
it'll be really really good. So, guys, the details of the tickets are in the description below. Go get yours and get down to Canvas on the 9th of May. But I'll tell you what, let's talk about this new album as well that's coming out. And the sort of tracks, of course, I've had a look at the YouTube channel and I absolutely love the tracks that are already on there. And one thing I did mention to you as well, that one of the videos actually does lend itself to India, a place that I absolutely love and went a couple of years back to. One of the videos is very, very lends itself to that a bit. But tell us a bit more about all the tracks on the album.
Well, I started doing it a few years ago. I mean, there's a mixture. It's a genre fluid album. Let's not get that a genre fluid. So I just wanted to make an album where it's like someone's record collection. It's not one type of music, and it's not like
Yeah,
one's not country and western, one's not hip hop, one's not indie, one's not. It's not. That's disingenuous. But it's kind of this mixed influences of everything going on. A bit of a mix of everything. Mix for a bit of something for everyone. But it's not. I mean, people will expect. The thing about us in the Mondays, we weren't really into indie music. People think we're like really into indie music. It's probably the least music we listen to. I'm not a massive indie music fan. I will like some bands, but so it's not really an indie record. But it's also a lot of what someone said. It's a cross between two people actually independently have said it's a cross between Gorillaz meets Pink Floyd meets who's the other band? Said The Verve. Did someone say The Verve meets Gorillaz meets Pink Floyd? Something like that. So I'll have a bit. That's probably fairly accurate. I've never thought about it, but that's what two separate people have said that. So there must be some sort of correlation there.
but every track has got its own different feel because let's be fair, we've both probably listened to albums and heard a track on the radio, pick up the album, listen to it, and then think all of these songs are very samey. And you could never say that about a Happy Mondays album. You could never say that. And this is very much the same, where it is every song on that album is interesting, it's different, and with a different range of emotions.
They are very different. There's a couple. Yeah, they are very different. Everyone. It's funny because we've had a couple of guitarists who've come in to do the tour. And they're actually saying we've got to change settings on every song. Every song's a different kind of feel. And funny enough, when John, who's one of the guitarists, his brother works for Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Which is quite strange. Yeah, they all are very different. And there's only one song with live drums on that I play drums on, I think. Black Symphony. I think they all are, I can't remember. It's been that long and stuck in production. My head's fried about it. I can't remember which is which. We changed the title of the album, the album title a few times. And then we've had the record company, other people saying, oh, them lyrics could be offensive. They have to be changed. And I said, oh, keep them every time. So, you'll get cancelled. So fucking what? If you're doing me a favour, early retirement maybe. No, there's nothing really. There's nothing to judge on there. But yeah, so it's weird how you certain things you can't say. Like there was one song called "Blinder and the Monkey," and he's this line says, "The monkey was a junkie, so he sold everything." And then, oh, can't say junkie. It's like what? It's like the radio won't play if he says junkie. I'm like, really? That was mental.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's not like, but though you could probably say, then you listen to some hip hop songs on the radio. It's like a little bit more offensive, I think.
How do you, actually, that's a very, very interesting point because, of course, music when I was growing up, you had all the big bands and, Britpop was going. The Happy Mondays, of course, were big. You were releasing lots and lots of different songs. And it's fair to say, music back then wasn't squeaky clean. And we liked that. We liked that. We didn't want it to be, if you wanted squeaky clean, you'd go and listen to Britney Spears, for example. But she's not even squeaky clean anymore. But to be
No,
fair,
I'm thinking that. Yeah, example.
yeah, another very, very bad example there. Sorry, Brittany, if you're watching. I'm pretty sure she doesn't subscribe to this channel. But the thing is how worried are you of cancel culture? And do you feel that it's ruining music nowadays?
Absolutely, it's ruining everything.
Mm,
Ruining everything. You can't. I mean, I'm a big believer in freedom of speech. If and you stand by your convictions. If you want to say something that people are going to, you stand by your convictions, and
yeah,
you have to deal with that. Unless you're calling for someone to be harmed, of course not. Then that's illegal. But you
yeah,
should have time to have your opinion. Everyone should. But like you say, you understand that them the beliefs you have, you live by them convictions, But yeah, horrendous. It's just like art is being everything. It's like now footballers, they say that the coaches can't shout at them in the dressing room because it's bullying.
mhm,
These are grown men. I mean, I understand, but Christ Almighty, it's just getting absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not worried about cancel culture because if I get cancelled, I'm at the end of my career. I'm in my 50s. It doesn't matter to me. But youngsters, you see, when bands starting now, everything's really safe because
yeah,
they've just grown up with not being able to do that. So they're just used to it. But it's homogenizing, pasteurizing everything. The whole society. That fear of, I'm sounding like an old man shouting at the moon now, but that fear of, the zombie apocalypse or robots, well, that's exactly what we're turning into. Everyone should have the same opinion. I mean, politics should be able to have a different opinion. I've got mates who've got completely different opinions, and that's how it should
yeah.
be. Agree to differ. Everyone has the same opinions. What's the point in that? That's not. There's no divinity in that. We're losing our divinity, and that's all we've got. Freedom of, that's what separates us from the rest of us. See, I'm on a rant now. That's what separates us from other animals, other mammals. We have freedom of choice. We have divinity. Once that's gone, it's crazy. And I've been living in North America for 16, 17 years. Coming back, I thought it'd be coming back here. I'm shocked. I'm
Mm.
shocked. In cameras everywhere.
I completely agree with you on this as well. And, it's not just music, it's also, TV shows, which you
Oh,
see nowadays. You look
yeah.
at Only Fools and Horses, that that show has been edited. If you get it on DVD nowadays, it's been edited because
Really?
it could have caused, yeah, it could cause offense to somebody. But then the thing is it is showing possibly how not to be. Of course, it's eye-opening and shocking, but also it is within that time frame. It's not it's not a
Exactly. No, I
case.
agree. You know, but the arrogance to think you can go through life without being offended. I get offended all the time. That's someone's opinion. I don't want a world where no one people only say nice things to me. What? No, that's not life. Of course, within reason. We don't want people.
Yeah,
Obviously, but you can't have an opinion about anything. You have an opinion about crime, immigration, sport. Anything. You have an opinion about anything, and if you don't agree with the other person, you cancel whatever. I mean, there is people that are just. you know, and just clickbait who just say ridiculous things for attention. But, you know, you can't have a debate about anything. You can't, you know, this thing that they're talking about in pubs, you can't have, you know, you can't have an opinion in pubs. So what? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like me saying, no, no one should have an opinion about Man United or that. People, you know, I've had people say, I fucking hate Man United or I hate Man. I don't hate you because that's your opinion and you're allowed to have that opinion. I understand that. I'd be worried if everyone liked it. Of course, that's life. You know, obviously you don't want to be, you know, there's within reason, of course, but it's just getting silly. But yeah, music is certainly, yeah, you know. But the problem is, the irony is that causes, and that's where that causes the opposite effects because people then just get so annoyed with whatever's been implemented that they do the opposite. So it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. But anyway, you know, that's been rant over.
Yeah, no, fair enough, Gaz. And to be honest, I completely agree. And it's the people wanting to cancel artists and acts are the people that, you know, don't want to listen to other people's opinions anyway. And they're the people that are just trying to stop things. Whereas what it should be is everybody respects each other. And that's the way it is, really. That's
as long as you're not calling for someone to, you know, to be violent or anything, of course, you know, obviously that, you know, violence is abhorrent, you know, you don't want that, but, you know, people should have an opinion. But people don't seem to have a calm opinion. Everything's really aggressive. You know, stop with the aggression. Don't be calm and have a calm discussion about things. But it's crazy. I just give up watching TV because you know, you just see it all the time. It's a real shame. But you know, that's the life we live in at the moment. But yeah, certainly with music and, you know, what they're going to be doing, it'll be football fans next. It's funny, when I lived in Australia 20 years ago, we used to go and watch, I lived in Perth, so we used to go and watch Perth Glory. And small ground, I can't remember,
Yeah.
old lot, but they used to have like bars, everyone was drinking beer, hot sun, it was great. And we'd met in the pub with my friend who's sadly died now, who I grew up with, who lived there, and he said, Slady, and he said, oh, they've called for banning swearing at the ground because women go. She's like, what? They're banning swearing, so if you swear, you're going to be kicked out of the ground. He said, but they've hatched a plan. Wait till you get in. I got in, and from the first whistle kickoff to the final whistle, one end of the ground just sang "fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off" repeatedly the whole game. So and I was like, it was so funny, and they just did it the whole game, and in the end, they lifted the ban. You know, remember the thing on when they tried to stop people? Oh, anyway, you know, I don't want, you know, it's just an opinion, but I just think people should have opinions.
definitely, yeah, completely agree with you.
You can be, like you say, you can be offended. You know, there's levels of offence, of course, as well. You know, you don't want people being, you know, horrible to you, but you can, you know, I don't know. I'm an old man now. What do I know?
Well, I tell you what, going back to your music, what singles in particular should people look out for, and what are the key singles for you?
Well, we've got a single coming out in. See, I should know all these dates. See, if I was a youngster, I'd have all this thing. I'd have all my social media things. I've just got all of it. I think it's April. It's a Friday, so April the 5th, is it? I don't know dates. First week of April, April 4th or 5th, is the singles out, Shine On Brother, which has had good feedback so far, so it might get a lot of radio play. We'll see. Hopefully not too much, because I'm a lazy bastard. In fact, there's no point doing too well. I don't want any of that. You know. I couldn't be doing with being successful. That would the pressure and work involved in that. I'm way past that these days. And Black Symphony was the track that I did release. Yes. I just put them out on YouTube. I didn't really release them. The label I've signed to are going mad now, saying, "Why don't you wait and do?" Because I just wasn't bothered. I mean, you see, it's okay for me. You know, I've come from an established band. I'm okay financially, so I can do that to a degree. You know, but so most people can't. So I was probably being a bit flippant doing that. I mean, I like the record companies going, you've got to have a plan, so I've had to take this down, take that down. They're doing it all proper. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, which is understandable. It's how it should be, to be fair. But I wasn't taking it serious until I did the album, and then people from big labels. I've never signed to a big label. For a guy from Sony, and a guy from Australia, and just saying this is. And the guy used to work on the Mercury Music Prize, doesn't anymore. He lives in New Zealand. He said, this would be this is a contender for the Mercury Music Prize. Seriously, I can send it to people. And I was like, okay, wait till it's done. Let's see. And he said, no, seriously, it's that good, and the feedback has been that good. And I'm actually gobsmacked by it because I've been that involved in it. And I'm not blowing my own trumpet because I don't do that. I'm terribly British when it comes to that. I'm quite the opposite. I'm not. But I've been really surprised at what people are saying to the industry. Everyone's got it. It's going to do, So we'll see. But we'll see how much work it involves.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a massive success. And like I say, all the details are in the description below, guys. So please go order a copy. Go listen to it on Spotify, I guess, isn't it, Gaz? It's going to be on Spotify. It's all
I struggle to know what Spotify is. I don't. I'm honest, I can just about use an ATM card and put diesel in my car. I can't. I'm absolutely useless at everything. Like even doing this today, it was like, oh, you have to go on Chrome. I was like, shouting when I was Chrome. What's this Chrome thing? I've got Chrome actually. I do know from last time. He said, I can't see. Where is it on here? He said, oh yeah, there it is. I'm just because I've not got interest in it. I'm just not. It's not that I'm against technology. I think technology is fantastic. Be able to do stuff like this. I'm not against it. It just doesn't really interest me that much, Like I've got a mobile phone and I leave it all home for days. At the moment, I have to keep it because, but I'm, when I was living in North America, I wouldn't have it on for a week at a time.
No, fair enough.
It's not like I've got it, don't I? You see it at games now. You got the match and you see it at gigs and you see it on the TV watching football on the front row. I've got it like that. What games? Honestly, we've done Monday's gigs on the barrier, and they're there. The whole gig just filled with all just like, it's like, why come out? Look, phones are great, but put it down sometimes. Oh, see, you've got me. Just all I've done is complain so far.
Exactly. Do you know what? I completely reason with you. Mobile phones, this thing, is an absolute nightmare. Gaz, like I say, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Really looking forward to getting the album. You've already got one sale here, so don't worry. And I will look forward to seeing you on the 9th of May. Everybody else, get yourself down there as well.
I'll sort you any guesses you want out. I sort it all out, and good luck on Sunday beating them lot. The liars we call them up here, the liars. Because it's not one of our nicknames for them. The liars in the Tampax blue kit. It's funny actually where I actually live now. I don't know if you'll know, but in the 70s there was a footballer for City called Franny Lee.
Yes,
played for England, the Flying Pig. Well, his house is just around the corner from me here, literally 100 yards away. This beautiful, like free old Tudor house with thatch, beautiful. But we're like newer houses next to it, and the land on here apparently is where he used to train his horses. But I only noticed yesterday. I've only been here since September. When I walked past on top of his old Tudor house, he's got a one of them wind things. He's got a horse because he's in a horse race. A horse race, and they looked at the jockey. He's got a City kit on.
Yeah,
I know. So I'm gonna have to climb up at one point at night and paint it red or something. But yeah, he died years ago, so he doesn't live there anymore. But yeah, he sold all his land. But yeah, so I've got them there. Then the Furies live up on the house on the hill up there. Very quiet there. And Bruno Fernandes somewhere around here. Like I say, I don't know where he lives. He'll live in the ultimate beautiful houses at the back somewhere. I see him now and again. Anyway, yeah, sorry. So good luck for Sunday. Really, I'm going to watch that now. I didn't realise. I watched them because I'm off Sunday. Got a gig Saturday off Sunday. I'm going to watch that. What time's kickoff?
It's 4:30. So 4:30 kickoff.
So City fans were making the excuse of not selling all their tickets because it's a long way to go and they can't get back. There's always some excuse.
Yeah, there will be. Albeit, if they don't sell out the away end, at Bournemouth, they got a problem.
Yeah, to be fair, fans that go to away games are usually the hardcore fans, aren't they? They're usually exactly. Fans aren't you to the away games. All right, good luck with that. And good luck with the season. I'm really made up that Cherries are doing well, really. And I've got a soft spot for Brentford as well. I'm glad they're doing well. Really am.
Yeah. Well, it was a bit of a shame they did so well against us recently because they did beat us in the last game. Hey, it is what it is. They're Brentford. They always beat us. But yeah, all the very, very best with whatever you do, Gaz. No doubt we'll keep in contact. I'm looking forward to the gig. And no doubt you'll be welcome whenever you want on this show. It's always a
Yeah,
pleasure.
love to always. Yeah, it's always been fun from day one. It's funny you've got the dental thing there. I've got the dentist now. Got these teeth eventually. Walking around with no teeth for 6 months.
There you are. Well, Dental on the Banks, if you ever need them, you know where to come. Down by the south coast, they'll sort you out.
Nice segue. That's okay. Nice one, mate.
All right. Thanks so much for coming on, Gaz.
Care,
And it's
mate.
always a pleasure. Take care. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Hit the like, subscribe, the bell button below. It helps this channel to grow. Do listen to Gaz's previous interview a while back when we played Manchester United last season. It's a really, really good listen, so go check that out. Do also go check out all of our other interviews with top musicians. We've had members from Kasabian, Five, Hard Fi, The Blue Tones, Dodgy, Ocean Colour Scene. I'm going to miss somebody out here, but I do apologise in advance. Do go check all of those out as well. And there's also stuff from David Icke, Omid Jalili, Tiff Nadell, Nick Owen, and lots more on here as well. Oh, did I tell you I once interviewed Professor Brian Cox? You'll have to go find it. It's on the interview tab. Thank you again for joining us. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, the bell button below. It helps the channel to grow. Make sure that you pre-order Gaz's new album, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for joining us.
The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.